So you ever wonder what the low light performance is in the Sony Nx80 and the Canon XF400? Well, I got a test just for you. Stay right there. You're going to want to see this. Hi, I'm Mike Turner, your friendly filmmaker, and today we're talking about two really cool camcorders, the Sony Nx80 and the Canon XF400. Now, anytime I'm buying a camera, I'm always very interested in the low light performance of the camera because I shoot in a lot of low light situations. So I already used the Sony Nx80 at a wedding and I thought it worked really well in a low light situation. But then again, when I was thinking about it, it was low light, but things were still kind of lit up with spotlights just like this. It was actually very similar to this situation because there was blue in the background and then my subject was kind of lit up. So that's not really truly low light, but it really looked good in that situation and I was happy with it. But I want to see it in some really dim low light situations to see what this thing is going to really do. So I conducted this test for you guys. So go ahead and check it out. So there you have it. There are your results. Now, what's interesting there is, I think if you're watching this, you're definitely saying that the Canon XF400 definitely looks better in low light than the Sony. And I would have to agree. I was actually very surprised by this test because I just always thought no matter what Sony camera you get, it's going to do pretty good in low light, you know, compared to the competition. But in this test, I feel like the Canon definitely had better low light performance. However, what you might have noticed is that the Sony, when you get to the higher gain levels like 33 dB, 33 dB on the Sony is brighter than 33 dB on the Canon. It's just not as clear. So the Canon is actually a little darker, and I would say almost like a stop and a half darker than the Sony, but it still creates a very nice image. It's still a nice image. It holds the colors nicely. There's really hardly any noise in it because it looks like the Canon is doing some noise reduction, and basically there's noise, but it's smoothing it out so you don't really see it. And to me, it looks good. It really looks good. And even in a very severe low light situation like what I produced in this studio of mine. I mean, I had a light there. It really was not bright at all. So, I mean, it was really dark, and that's what the cameras did. So basically keep in mind though that the Sony at basically 27 dB is the same as the Canon at 33 dB. So you can actually bring the Sony's gain levels down a little bit and still have the same exposure as you would on the Canon. But as you can see, even though we're at 27 dB on the Sony, there's still some noise in the picture, and 33 dB on the Canon still looks better than 27 dB on the Sony, in my opinion. I mean, it's really subjective, but to me, it looks better on the Canon. So there you have it. Now, with that being said, and this is not really part of this particular review video because we're just talking low light performance, but is that enough to persuade me to get the Canon over the Sony? I've used both, and I gotta say the Sony to me is better because it just allows for more customization. There are a few more buttons on the Sony that you can program, and the Sony allows you to program the buttons to whatever you want. The Canon restricts what you can program those buttons for. You got to pick from certain options. It doesn't give you every option. It doesn't give you as much control over the picture in the camera. You can't really change like the black levels specifically, or knee, which is basically highlights, and there's fine tuning that you cannot do on the Canon. It really kind of handcuffs you in what you can modify, and the Sony just lets you change anything. I mean, anything. So for me personally, I kind of like the Sony more. That's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. Maybe I'll do another video, like a full review on both, comparing both together and showing you why I would pick one over the other. You know, I still got some more experimenting to do with the Canon. I'm going to take this one to a wedding too, shoot some more video with it. Because maybe after using it some more, maybe I'll like the Canon a little bit more, but not seeming like that's going to be the situation. Just saying. So anyway, that's it. If you haven't already done so, please make sure you subscribe to my channel for more videos just like this, where I'm comparing different cameras, showing you tips and tricks for video production, and just doing various tests and everything under the sun. Of course, there are affiliate links in the comments below with the equipment that I've been discussing in this video, and also equipment that I use to produce this particular YouTube video. So go ahead, make sure you click on those because I will get a small commission if you do. Helps me keep the channel going and whatnot, and I appreciate it. But anyway, I'm Mike Turner. Thanks for watching, and I guess I will see you soon.